Last month, Santos Lujan of Kermit officially became the new superintendent of the Pecos Barstow Toya Independent School District. He recently informed Chris Henson, the athletic director of 4 years now, that he's been reassigned. But some people in Pecos say that was a bad call. For the students of Pecos High School, it was anything but a typical day.
We're protesting because the Kermit superintendent wants to bring all the Kermit coaches to Pecos because he thinks that the Pecos coaches aren't doing a good enough job.
I don't believe, and the rest of my student body doesn't believe, that it's right firing our head coach and AD.
We need to keep the Henson!
Most of the students here at Pecos High School just found out last night that athletic director Chris Henson is being reassigned, and this morning many of them stood up for what they believe.
We're protesting because we want Coach Henson to stay here, and if not, it's just going to be more problems.
He's been here for 4 years. 4 years.
That's right.
We've never had a solid coaching staff, and when we do, they want to take it away from us.
And it's not just the students who are disappointed by the decision.
Ever since Coach Henson and his coaching staff has been here, things have looked better, not just in sports, but they've improved immensely with academics. We have a lot more students that are recognized academically.
Everyone out here is here to support and say that he does support everybody here. He does everything for the community, and him and his family are at every school event, every Pecos event.
Our coaches, they support us. Like, they've been there for us, and we just love them. Like, we're one big happy family, and if they take away our coaches, they're just splitting us up, and we don't appreciate that too much.
None of the faculty members we spoke to were willing to talk on camera. We also called the superintendent's office to try and get a statement, but the secretary told us that he's out of town. If anything changes with the reassignment of Chris Henson, we'll bring you all the updates. Reporting tonight, Plyburn, Big 2 News.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Amen.
Motion passes 5-0.
It was a large compromise on everybody's part. It was a completely different direction than we anticipated to take.
Well, I think it was a compromise, but I think it was very wise on behalf of the county commissioners because they made a choice that not only falls right in line with their guidelines and beliefs, but it also really helps us amplify and speed up the process of the project.
Ector County will now be involved with the project by helping to construct Tres Hermanas, a road that will serve as an access point to Parks Legado.
So we will contribute some of our time and some of our funds to assist with the building of that road.
But not everyone at the meeting was in favor of the project. Some came out to voice their opinion on why it should have never been considered.
In the Bible, I think we all know the Ten Commandments. It says, "Thou shalt not steal." It'll take our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren to finish paying this off. And to me, that is stealing. To me, it's a sin. And not only do I love my descendants, but I do not want to steal from them, and that's what that says, is stealing.
Well, I think anytime you start a project of this size or anytime anybody takes on a major opportunity like this, there's always people who are going to disagree. There's people who aren't necessarily going to believe the way you believe, and I think that's very normal, and that's a great reason that we get to live in this country.
Reporting in Odessa, Plyburn, Big 2 News. St. Patrick was born into a wealthy British family but was kidnapped as a teen and taken to Ireland. He eventually escaped and returned to Britain but had a desire to one day go back to Ireland and preach Christianity. St. Patrick was successful in his wish, and Christianity in Ireland has continued to grow ever since.
March 17th was theoretically the day that Patrick died. So we honor saints on their death day. We call it their birthday into heaven.
But why do people celebrate on St. Patrick's Day?
Over the centuries, it had a religious significance. People would honor the saint that brought Christianity to their country. But then the Irish people were very oppressed, particularly by the English, for about 800 years.
Which is why St. Patrick's Day went from a religious holiday to a political holiday. Since we're in the season of Lent, Catholics do not celebrate the holiday on a religious level, but that doesn't stop the secular celebrations. Just down the road, the crew of Buffalo Wild Wings was celebrating with what's become a well-known tradition.
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
From green beer to green shots and a waitstaff decked out in green. One of the things commonly associated with St. Patrick's Day is pinching people that don't wear green. Ouch! But you can avoid this by simply stepping into your closet and finding something green. But why do we associate the color green with St. Patrick's Day?
If you've ever been to Ireland, it's very green, but they have, I think they've, color experts have identified 53 different shades of green in the foliage and the, mountains, whatever. And so, just quite naturally, you associate green with Ireland.
The question remains, why do we pinch those who don't wear green? According to one legend, it's because leprechauns like to pinch people, but if you're wearing green, they won't be able to see you. The shamrock is also a symbol that's associated with the holiday. Father Woodruff says that St. Patrick picked it from the ground and used it to explain the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Reporting tonight, Jay Plyburn, Big 2 News.
Specifically with regard to importation.
Hundreds gathered Saturday for a public meeting which included presentations on geology and economics related to the transport of radioactive waste.
WCS has been a part of Andrews for the past well over a decade. I mean, almost 2 decades. They've been a part of Andrews. This isn't a new thing.
Andrews High School, home of the Mustangs, and because the school can easily accommodate 300 to 400 people at one given time, this school has become a hotspot for the WCS meetings. And as is always the case with these meetings, most people are in support of WCS, but some are strongly opposed. Inside, the t-shirts worn by supporters created a sea of green, but outside was a different story.
They think that there's no opposition, but we're here. We're going to make a stand and let our voices be heard, that we don't want it here. This is our hometown. We don't want it to become the nation's waste dump.
It is not within the city limits. It's out near New Mexico, where there is perfect land to store this waste.
In addition to bringing new jobs to the area, the disposal of radioactive waste is very profitable. But the protesters argue that safety should still come first.
WCS estimates to earn $100 million a year off of this. We don't want to see that money, our safety take a backseat to that money.
It's a solution to the hundreds of locations that currently possess low-level radioactive waste in hospitals and other sites around the state and the country. And what a better place to put it in a place that can handle it safely in a unified way.
Reporting in Andrews, Jay Plyburn, Big 2 News.
There's no way you could go on without remembering them. I mean, those guys, like I said in my remarks, made the ultimate sacrifice to themselves, their family, the community, and their profession, so it's only right that we remember them every year.
In addition to the 13 officers from across the state that died in the past year, 3 fallen officers from the tall city were also remembered.
The Midland Police Department's had 3 officers in their history that have lost their life in the line of duty. Brian Scoggins, Gordon Smith, and night watchman Perry Wyrick. And every year we remember those 3 from our department.
A 21-gun salute came near the end of the service after each of the names were read aloud, something that was especially powerful for the family of those who lost a loved one.
I wasn't able to come when I was younger, and now that I'm older and have more of an appreciation of what he's done, I've decided to go ahead and show up and see what it's all about, because it's been a good 10 years since I've been here.
She brought her 2 children to the memorial service to teach them about their great-grandfather, who was killed by a murder suspect in the early 60s.
I'm very proud. I mean, to know that people still think about him this many years after the fact it just feels good to know that, he was my grandfather and they honor him that way.
Reporting in Midland, Jay Plyburn, Big 2 News.